Kenniesha, for having me here in Orlando, Florida.
Absolutely.
Tell me, Kenniesha, how did you get to the United States?
I was born and raised in Antwerp, Belgium. My mom is from Belgian origin and my dad is African American. So they both knew, from a very young age that one way or the other, I was going to be in the States.
Growing up, you were raised as a Belgian and an American.
Right.
Was it difficult to be both?
Actually, not at all, because I felt super comfortable in both my cultures. Every holiday in Belgium with my family and stuff was just super normal. Even though I was the only one that had a tan, was the only one with curly hair, it felt super normal. And coming over here in the States, I was the only one that was a little bit lighter than everybody else. But still, I felt comfortable in both worlds. My dad raised me to be very aware of who I am as an African American female, and my mom raised me to be very aware of my Belgian heritage. So they did a very good job.
While you were in Belgium, since you are both intercultural and interracial, as they call it here, did you experience rejection or discrimination?
Not from my family. I mean, obviously, I don't really know how they were, finding out that my mom came in with this huge African American 6-foot basketball player because he's the first colored guy that she actually dated. But towards me, my family has always been super kind. It's just like the outside that could act a little bit shocked. For instance, there was this lady and she wanted to ask directions and she was looking around like, who do I ask it to? And she ended up with me, but you saw that she didn't really want to ask me the question. And she spoke Dutch, so I answered in Dutch. She was in my hometown, so of course I knew where she needed to go. And she looked at me and she was like, oh wow, your Dutch is really good. And I'm like, well, thank you so much. I'll let my white mom know. Thank you for the compliment. And I just left because I'm like, why wouldn't I speak Dutch well? That's so stupid.
In the US, especially in the actual context with a lot of interracial issues, have you experienced any type of discrimination?
No, actually not at all. I feel more free and at ease over here than in Belgium, which is so strange because obviously with what's going on in the news, you would think otherwise. I'm just more a little bit scared for my children because I feel sad that I'm going to have the talk with them, on how to act when there's police around or how to deal with this or deal with that. And it's so sad and stupid because, Caucasian families, they don't have to have the talk or stuff like that. So that's the only thing that I'm now thinking about for my children. But myself, I haven't really experienced any type of racism at the job or anything towards me. And if I did, I brush it off so easily because I also feel like it's connected to ignorance, if an American family member over here says something about my husband because he's Muslim, gives a remark about that, I feel it's connected to ignorance, and I'm like, I brush it off. I might be upset and yell at my husband oh my God, really? But the next day, it's wasted energy, so I cannot educate you. If you don't want to have a real conversation with me, I can't educate you.
That's a great attitude.
Right, yeah.
That's your American side.
Yeah, yeah.
A great attitude.
Keeping out, yeah.
Did you sometimes feel divided between two worlds?
When I see stuff happening in the news over here in America, white police officers against black African Americans, then I sometimes cringe and I'm like, come on, white people, we can do better. We can do better. We don't have to, think that we're the superior race. And then sometimes I get mad if I hear Black African Americans, sometimes I get mad when I hear African Americans speaking and they assume and they think that everything is connected to race and they didn't get the job because of their race and they did, just blaming stuff for their race. I get upset with that. So it's like from both worlds, from my white side and from my black side, there's stuff that happens that I'm sometimes like, come on, people, like, at the end of the day, we could coexist perfectly fine. My parents did. This is what came out of it, it can happen. It is possible.
Could you imagine yourself raising a family in the US?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What are you, why?
Because it's the land of the free. They would be very free here, even though I know I would have to have the talk and like major like life talks and stuff. It's still a place where they can do whatever they want. They can be whatever they want to be. We've proved that now with having a Black president, so they can't tell me nothing. Everything is possible. If they want to start their own business, if they want to go, and do whatever job they want to do, I feel like over here it's way more accepting, is way more, you get way more motivation. I don't know. If they want to go back on their own to Belgium or maybe perhaps to Turkey or, whatever, I would support that, just like my parents supported me. But to have this as their home base, absolutely.
What do you really love about the United States?
I think the biggest thing that I love about America is that the people here are much more open and you can connect with them quicker. If you're a social person and you're walking outside and you smile at somebody, you get a smile back really quickly over here. That's not really the case in Belgium. You will have it, sometimes, but 90% of the time they will just pass you by, not even paying attention. So I don't know if they're doing it, on purpose. They're just really not paying attention.
What is your biggest challenge in the US?
It has actually to do with credit score. You see people just buying stuff and really not having a lot of control over it, and that's something that my husband and I were like very apprehensive about before coming here. That's something we immediately said, we're not doing the credit card stuff at all. But that's the only way to build a credit score. So it's so annoying. Like I had to buy my phone in full because I can't take like an AT&T monthly plan because I didn't have a credit score. Every time we get an apartment or a condo, we have to talk and let it be known that we have a good history with payments. Give them the contact information from the previous landlord because we don't have no credit score. It's that's really a lot, and it's draining, and it makes you panic a lot.
My favorite question to ask: if you could give any advice to a fellow Belgian moving to the US, what would that be?
To just do it. Just do it. If you've been dreaming about it, for so long and contemplating and trying to, these are the positive sides, these are the negative sides. Oh, but my family, but my friend. Don't do that. It's you. It's your life. Don't worry about friends and family. We have Skype. We have WhatsApp. You can speak to your people every day. I've even gotten closer to my best friends from Belgium. I know they're more now that I'm here than in Belgium. I speak more to them now that I'm here than if they were 15 minutes by bus or by tram. If you want to do it, if you put your mind to it, just do it. Don't underestimate it. Just make sure you're safe and you get all the logistics out of the way. But if it's a dream, just go for it. If it doesn't work out, if you've been in the States a year, if you've been in the States for 4 years, doesn't work out, you don't like it, you want to go back to Belgium, go back. But at least you can say you did it. You will never have that question of what if.
Thank you so much for your interview. I really appreciate the time.
Oh, absolutely, no problem. Until next time.
Until next time.